About the time she was 18 months old, she stopped looking at us and she stopped making eye contact when we would talk to her, and it was harder and harder to get her attention. So we ended up doing some more testing with Casey. Most of it was just play testing. And the doctor ended up telling us that she had a diagnosis of PDD-NOS, which is pervasive developmental delay, not otherwise specified. Let's look back here.
Trying to understand what her life was going to be like and what was that going to look like compared to what we'd hoped for her, what you hope for any child. And it takes years to really understand all the implications of the diagnosis that Casey has and the challenges that she faces.
We immediately contacted our school district because the doctor mentioned that early intervention was crucial. They sent her to a special daycare that was a more inclusive daycare attached to a hospital. She did very well, but it was, when she was good, very, very good. When she was bad, it was a nightmare. She would seek out any kind of sensory that she could get, and this involved a lot of elopement.
Didn't matter what lock or what mechanism you put, what alarm, for all the difficulty she had relating to others and learning, she could figure out a lock like that.
The violence was also really tough. She was violent to herself, to others, and it wasn't something that we were able to control in that environment. Our district said to us, you need to look at other options. And finally, one of the women at one of the schools we were at said, have you talked to Bancroft?
At Bancroft, we're able to really sustain treatment around the clock, 24 hours, 7 days a week.
She was so tiny. She was just 6 years old. I felt like a lousy mother. I felt incapable. I felt like I wasn't doing something I should be doing or should be able to do.
It took a very long time for us to really be able to objectively evaluate that decision to bring her to Bancroft at such a young age and feel, as we do today, that it was the right decision for her at the right time.
The Lindens program is a very unique program, one of very few in the country that provide an intensive behavioral stabilization and acute care services.
They had the ability with some of the rooms, the observation rooms, to be able to watch her interact with us, with other staff, and really see what her behaviors were and come up with informed choices for how we were going to handle these behaviors.
Casey had some significant behaviors when she started here. She would get so frustrated, and she didn't know how to say she was frustrated. We provided her with a textbook, which is a book that's filled with pictures, things that Casey can ask for, that's very important to her, things that she likes, things that she needs.
It was little miracles bit by bit, little flashes of light, and for all the things that went backwards or had to be tweaked, there were a million things that went well beyond our expectations.
She became more independent. She didn't need to rely on other people as much, and her frustration level went down. Her behaviors became better and better.
It was one of the visits that we had at home, and we were doing something that was a preferred activity. I felt very connected to her, and I went to get her up and I said, Casey, I love you. And she turned around and looked at me and said, I love you. And it wasn't parroting, it was she looked me in the eyes and said, I love you. And I cried. I love you. I love you. You love me? Well, where's my kiss then? Mwah. Thank you.
Bancroft made things possible that we didn't see as possible. And when you are a family member of a child with such profound challenges, you need that hope. You need it. And there was Bancroft.
Her favorite thing to say is, a wonderful dream come true. So when something goes well for Casey, she'll give you a big hug and say, a wonderful dream come true.
Dreams come true.
Yes, they do. And that's her life.